Dear students, up to now we have discussed about control chart for variables and control chart for attributes. These are some of the differences of control chart for variables and control chart for attributes. Number one is we can detect and control the variations. In the variables chart, we can detect and control the variations. When within the samples, if we give, he will give the samples, within the samples, we can control the variations. And between the samples, by constructing this chart, with the help of chart, we can construct the charts. Here it is not possible in control chart for attributes. They only indicate the average level. Here in the attributes, they only indicate average level of a manufactured product. And the other one is small samples are enough to construct and interpret this chart. And here P chart demands large values of items in the attributes. Next, in the control chart for variables, we have to measure the qualitative or quality characteristics. Here, there is no need to measure the quality characteristics. Here, we only observe their presence and absence only. But here, we can measure the quality characteristics. Here, the number 4 is operators to measure the quality equipment. Well-trained technicians are recording, much case in the recordings are required. Here, well quality operators are required. Here, it is very easy to describe the quality of a product. We can easily construct with the help of a chart. That means in the control chart for variables, operators to measure the quality equipment, well-trained technicians must be used to recording the values. Here, we can easily decide. Here, we can easily decide the quality of a product and construct with the help of a chart in attributes. Next point is the process is time taken, tedious and expensive. Here the process is very expensive. Here the process is less expensive and it is time saving and easy to construct. Next point is these charts are sensitive to accessible causes. These are sensitive. These are less sensitive. When compared with control chart for variables, the control chart for attributes are less sensitive. Next point is a variable control chart can be used for attribute. This is hardly used for attribute. We can also use these charts for variables. In control chart for attributes, we can also use for variables, but here it cannot be used. It is hardly used for attributes. Next other point is subsample sizes should printably equal. Here the sample sizes must be printably equal. Here we can take unequal sizes of a samples also in attributes. Next point is a separate control chart is needed for each quality characteristic. Separate quality chart is needed for control chart for variables. Here, a single chart is enough to decide the quality of characteristics. Here in attributes, it is enough. It is enough to take a single chart to decide the quality characteristics. And here in control chart for variables, we have to construct both x bar and r. And in the same problem we can do, but there is no need for combination of charts. In attributes, we have no combinations. Only in a control chart for variables, we have only combinations that we have seen in the problems given in x bar and r chart. In same problem, in a single problem, we can find out x bar and r chart, and that means mean and range that we have done in the previous videos also and previous problems also we have done. So this is the chapter about SQC. This is chapter number 4, statistical quality control. And we have to remember the control limits formulas when standards are given and when standards are not given. We have to by-heart these formulas, and with the help of a sample size, we can find the SQC table value. We have to take table values also, and we have to learn both case 1 and case 2. That is, when standards are given, we have to learn. When standards are not given, that we have to learn. Generally, he will give when standards are not given. Why? Because we use these formulas. And if we give standards are given, then he will give directly the values of mu and sigma. Here direct values will be given in when standards are given, and no direct values are given when standards are not given. So easily we can find out the problem, but we have to learn both the control limits. But here when standards are not given is very important. Based on standards are given, when standards are given, directly he will give the values. We have to substitute the values and we can do the problem. Here when standards are not given, he will not give the values directly. We have to consider the values, and we have to do some process, and then we find out the UCL, ACL and LCL, and say that whether the process under the statistical control or not. And in the R chart given are C. And similarly C chart and P chart. This is about control chart for attributes and control chart for variables. Very important chapter, easy to learn. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you, students. Thank you very much.